Alright, I'm going to try this again. I had to start over because I forgot to measure out my fragrance oil and sodium lactate, so I did that and I went ahead and added my goat's milk lye solution to my oil mix. And as you can see, it's a very golden color, and it's not really what I'm shooting for a sweet pea soap. So I will be whitening the batter, and I'll be whitening the part that goes into the pink and purple as well, because I just think that it's a fragrance that lends itself to pastel colors. So I'm going to start blending this and get this show on the road finally. I'm not going to overblend this because it's going to need to be, the titanium dioxide is going to need to be blended in well, so I'm just going to, they're little particles of milk fat that I kind of like to get rid of before I really start mixing the soap, so I'm just going to get that done. And I'm going to add my titanium dioxide now, and I've mixed up a bottle, probably, I don't know how many ounces, maybe a 12-ounce bottle. Seems funny to not have a cup to knock over, but oh well. And we're going to be looking to whiten this a fair little bit, so. Don't be alarmed at what seems like a lot, because I mix it with a fair bit of water just to, because I don't think that titanium dioxide actually thickens soap a little bit, so putting it in with a fair bit of water will just slow down the soap a little bit, and I don't really mind that. It's a creamy white, but I'm just not sure that it's what I'm shooting for yet, so pardon me while I experiment with my squirt bottle. That's better. Alright, so now I'm going to divide that off into a couple of cups. I actually have my cotton candy mica in this cup. And I'm probably going to want to fill both of these. The other one is going to be purple. And because this is a mica, it's probably not going to mix in smoothly, so I'll have to hit that with the stick blender a little bit. But it's a pretty pink. And the other one will be purple, and I have the purple actually mixed up in a cup, so I'm going to just go like so and get my purple Dixie cup. I'm doing another batch that is going to be mostly purple as a base color, so I need to have a bunch of that ready. And what I'm going to be doing with this batch is a drop swirl, which will involve laying down some of the base color, which is the white, and dribbling the purple and pink from a height so that we get a design that just drops and swirls itself into the soap without a whole lot of additional help from me. In fact, no additional help. Okay, so I'm going to hit those with the stick blender. I'm not just 100% sure that I'm happy with the pink. As it's sitting in the base, it is turning a sort of a coral color, and I wanted a little bit more pink than that, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the cotton candy mica. And I'm going to take it down. That's a better pink. Yep. And my purple, I think, will be okay. Because sweet peas are a natural pastel flower, I want to kind of keep it a gentle looking soap to match up with the fragrance oil. So I'm going to stir my big pot or my big bucket, and I'm going to move some things out of the way here and get my molds ready, so I'll just be back in a minute. Well, I had a little moment while I was off camera and realized that I forgot to add my fragrance oil. I am not having a very good latter soaping time here, so I think I'm going to take a break and make some dinner in between batches. Put my mind back where it belongs. So I'm going to do just a bottom layer of the white. This is another soap that I'm not gelling because it has so much titanium dioxide in it that I feel it would be at risk for some major glycerin rivers, and I don't like the look of them, so that's not the direction I'm going with this. I'm just going to tap out some air. I should have used my other 18-inch molds for this because I can see already that I'm going to have air bubbles. Oh dear. Whoa. That thickened up in a heck of a hurry. But the nice thing about soap is if you give it a good beating, it gets back toward behaving itself. Now I'm going up quite high with this because it is so thick and because I want some movement of the soap toward the bottom of the mold. And I am going to be kind of hurrying this along, so if I sound slightly out of breath, it's because I have enormous panic settling in my heart. But I've been here, done that, so if I was a new soap maker at this point, I would be having a mass panic. But I'm not, and I won't, because there's nothing to panic about. It's thick, it's not impossible. And the colors are actually quite a bit thicker than the actual soap base, so that's sort of weird, but oh well. Now, again, I'm pouring from a bit of a height to try to push those colors down a little bit. And I said at the beginning, I'm spilling all over the place. I said at the very beginning that this is a move along fragrance, so it is to be expected that it'll do a bit of panic stuff. Anyway, I'm just going to stop for just a second to clean some things up. Alright, I'm back. I just want to tap out a little bit of air. And I am wearing goggles, even though you don't see gloves on my hands. Don't get mad at me. I am usually pretty tidy and well prepared with wet rags and dry rags, so I try to make sure I'm safe no matter what it looks like. Oh dear, I have a feeling I might have to take a spoon to this a little bit. Yeah, well, because that thickened up a heck of a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I'm going to save a little bit for the top. Okay, you know, when you're making, you know, this is a fairly large batch, so I guess, well, not large, but large enough for me. 28 bars, I really don't want to waste anything. So I am not going to waste anything. I'm going to make sure that it's going to look good. no matter what happens, really. So I have in my hand a little double pointed knitting needle, and I'm just going to do a little bit of, you know, first aid, soapy first aid, so that I get a little bit more interest inside the bar. And yeah, it'll be okay. It's all good. And this is where I'm going to say, because I'm mucking around so much, I really needed to wear gloves for this, so I am not a good example. The next batch you see me make tonight will be black raspberry vanilla, and there will be gloves on my hands because I've had to wipe my hands off a fair little bit here already with this batch, and I don't see any sense in being irresponsible and stupid. So don't do as I do. And again, I'm going to say, there's a bit of a disclaimer here. I am not teaching anything with this video. Just so that we're all clear. This is strictly entertainment, and for me to make a little bit of a memory for myself. I heard another soaper say that, and I thought, what a great idea to have a visual record of what you're making. Now, I'm not entirely thrilled with the levels of my soap here, so I'm going to actually steal a little bit from over here. I'm wondering whether I should even post this video, because I'm having a bit of a gong show here, and it's not usually how I do things, so there we go. I'm using soap hutch molds here today, and I love these, but the thing about this particular type of soap that I'm making is that I have to bang the air bubbles out, and these are just kind of pressure locked on the ends, and it isn't the greatest. Not for this. Okay, so just gonna sort of put a few spots on top and do a little swirly-do. And again, if I sound huffed out, it's because I am. I'm panicking. Here in Manitoba, we're having a very, very nasty flood situation. The day of making this is the 5th of July, and actually yesterday the province declared a province-wide state of emergency, which is extremely rare for us, especially at this time of year. But we had a major rain event last weekend that created a water monster, and the city of Brandon, which I'm closest to, is probably going, well, some of the major thoroughfares are flooded, and getting around in the city has become a very big challenge for some, and they're certainly in my thoughts as they're dealing with, you know, I could see possibly there being some evacuation notices tonight, and nobody likes to leave their home in the middle of a flood because you don't know what you're going to be coming back to. And they are actually doing a planned breach of I can't remember the name of the dam now, it's gone, near Portage, Manitoba. They're doing a controlled breach so that they can plan where the water is going to go to better than just leaving it to chance. And of course there are people that are extremely unhappy about that because the water's going onto their land, and I don't blame them a bit. It is not a pleasant situation no matter how you look at it. Okay, so I'm just spreading this around Again, this is not how things usually roll, especially not with this fragrance. Like, it does move quickly, but not quite at the speed of light like it has today, and so weirdly uneven in its. And I do, most of my soaps, especially in these wider molds, I do leave them flat on the top because I wrap my soaps with the cigar band label, and I just think it looks a lot tidier when I don't have any big fluffy anything on top. So banging, banging, banging. There we go. And I'm going to glitter this one and spray it and put it out of the way where it can do its thing. I am not purposely gelling this, so I will not be insulating, but I am going to leave it out at room temperature. It's a little bit warm, and I have a feeling it'll probably try to gel, but it's going onto the basement floor, so chances are it won't do anything too extreme. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of iridescent glitter on here. I do not have a shaker. I use my fingers, but yeah. Anyway, I'm probably going to do a cutting video for each of these and attach them, because I just think it's nicer for people who are watching to see the finished product in the same video. So, get my darling daughter to help me with the editing and to get things set up so that people can see what I've done in some kind of reasonable order. Again, I apologize for all the starts and stops, but I am new at this, and I hope you enjoy it anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye now. Alright, it's Sunday afternoon. It's probably not quite 24 hours since this was made, but this is the sweet pea. I've had to leave the Sweet Meyer lemon probably for another day because it wasn't gelled and it's soft. But this is the sweet pea, and this did accelerate somewhat for me, so I'm anxious to see how it came out. And I am actually breaking in my Bud Hafner single wire cutter today to do this. Now I'm going to hold this up, and this looks very orange, but the cotton candy mica from Voyageur, which I believe is probably one and the same with the Cosmic Carolyn from TKB, cut orange and turn pink. So I'm going to hold this up, and I see my battery is flashing at me, so this may not be a long video. This started as a drop swirl, but ended up being, I used a double pointed knitting needle to kind of go into it and move the soap around because it was so thick. So it's a bit different. It's a bit different to look at from the last batch that I did, but the purple's very nice, and the pink, as I said, will turn pink. And I'm just keeping an eye on that first bar so that I can hold up two as comparison. I do have a cutter that will do a whole loaf at once, but these are 18-inch loaves, and it only takes just a loaf that is probably 16 and a half, so this is why I got it. This, and just that I kind of don't mind just cleaning one wire, to be perfectly honest. it is cutting nice and smooth. My other cutter is by Bud as well, and it does beautiful cuts. I realize I'm in Canada and I order Bud stuff, but I very conveniently have an address that will take deliveries in the States. So it involves a little bit of paperwork to get stuff across the border, but if you're registered as a business and you use the B3 forms that are required of you, it really is not terribly time consuming. They can be completed online and printed out in duplicate, and all they do at the border is give you the daily exchange rate, and you calculate how much GST you owe, and you make your payment and you're out of there. It's when you go without the proper documentation that you run into problems. So if you're in this to win it, then be business-like. That's what I say anyway. Okay, now how many bars do you think I have out of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I'm going to have a little sample piece at the end. Isn't that great? Alright, now I said I would hold up comparison, and I will. This is the first bar I cut, and this is the last bar I cut, and as you can see, the orange has gone nice and pink. Anyway, this is the sweet pea, and I'm going to run out of battery here, so that is all, folks, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you another time.